Clemson, second year in a row that Clemson's fell out of the top 25.
Well, Clemson is 0-2, isn't it?
They're 1-2.
1-2 to start the season. Okay, we have a bunch to get to. We'll talk to Willie Waffle a little bit and get into what his thoughts are, what will end up with Jimmy Kimmel, what's the reaction, all there. Of course, this morning starting off with Ann in Rome making her big announcement, ringing the bell. Did you ever ring the bell when you had your cancer for the first time?
Yeah, I didn't do it on the air here, but I did it.
We'll speak with Willie coming up. Ann was a great start this morning. Hope Ike's free money question of the day is worth
$250 again.
$250. We'll speak with NY19 Congressman Josh Riley this morning regarding the Democrat side of the government shutdown and the reaction to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And he has a new bill, right, that he wants to talk about. We'll do that. Scott in Kirkville will make his picks. What else? There's a whole bunch more to get to. Also, a tribute to Charlie Kirk happening on Sunday, and it's been organized through a local university, through Utica University. And Ariana Young is the student who put all of this together, but it's for Charlie Kirk, but all violence. And we'll speak with her coming up in a little bit, and we'll get to that. So interesting stuff. Your take on the Bills game last night, much closer than probably a lot of people expected.
Offense, good. As I was talking to another diehard beloved Bills fans, as you know, Jim Rondinelli was up. Jim Rondinelli was up and early at it this morning. I was talking to him on my way in.
It's hard to criticize, although you're about to. The defense.
That's what I was saying. The defense and secondary need work.
It's hard to criticize them after their performance last week. And is it possible that Miami was just going for the upset and was playing really well, or is there trouble in the defense in the secondary?
I understand that we didn't have Ed Oliver, and Matt Milano was out with a pectoral muscle injury, and Ed Oliver was out with the ankle, but the other people have to step up. The defense needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
In the secondary,
and there were a few injuries yesterday in that game.
I've been kind of iffy on the secondary since game one.
But listen, the Bills have started out 3-0, so a good start for Buffalo. But listen, we're Buffalo fans. I'm a Mets fan. The Yankees are a little bit different. But the reality is, as a Mets fan, as a Buffalo fan, as a Syracuse fan, I am absolutely used to starting off strong and then fizzling. Although the Mets did win, they still now have a 2-game lead in the wild card, which is pretty good here, considering they lost 8 in a row a little while ago. RFK Jr.'s handpicked vaccine panel meeting to consider COVID shots and more, including kid vaccine schedules. Yesterday, they came out and they combined measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. I think they unendorsed, if you will. Let's go to Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio, standing by right now. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning.
RFK Jr. Loves to make the news, and he has made it quite often these days. What do we know about this?
Yes, he has. You are correct about that. This is going to get confusing. I'll just be honest about it.
Yeah.
The panel, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, they have 17 members. He got rid of all 17 members. I take that back. They had 17 members. He got rid of all 17 members. And then added, his own, like you said, hand-picked panel. 5 of those just were added this week prior to this meeting.
They had a lot of time to go over the research.
Apparently so. The panel advised that the vaccine known as MMRV, as you mentioned, measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox, the combination vaccine is what I'm talking about, not be given before age 4, and that kids in the age group get separate vaccines instead, one against MMR and another for chickenpox. They had an 8-3 vote on that. One member abstained. They did put off a vote that is expected today on hepatitis B shots that are given to infants the day they are born. They're also expected to take up the COVID-19 shot vote today as well. So that's what's coming. The reason, and I know what people are going to be immediately saying, which is what I said. Okay, well, if you're not recommending this combo, vaccine to be given before age 4, then parents can get just the shots by themselves.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Which, okay, yes, that's true. However, and again, the CDC still has to sign off on this. But the thing is, this does affect how the vaccines are covered, like as far as insurance.
Right.
Which is very important because they did vote to keep MMRV covered for kids as young as 12 months under the Vaccines for Children program. That pays for about half the shots that are given to kids in the U.S., just to give you an idea of how widespread that program is that pays for these shots. One of the folks did point out that there are other government insurance programs like the Children's Health Insurance Program and Medicaid that will have to stop paying for the early combination shot because they have to follow CDC recommendations. So if the CDC recommends, we don't need this combo shot before age 4, then these, the government, programs like Medicaid won't pay for it. So that could be a very big deal.
Which you can imagine that the kids would not get. If it's not paid for by insurance, most kids are probably not going to get the shot.
I don't know. I don't have any idea what this costs out of pocket. But I've seen. We've all run into things that we've not been covered for, and then maybe just have gone. I wonder. Well, how much would that be if I just? Okay, never mind. Because it's usually like exorbitant. I don't know what that would be in this case.
Yeah.
The American Association of Pediatrics. The president of that said yesterday that the meeting promoted false claims and misguided information about vaccines as part of mistrust in vaccines. They said that it's going to cause, confusion, chaos, and false information for parents. They're not on board with, messing with the schedule, basically. This is something that is being watched very closely and for a lot of reasons.
It is interesting, the cost of the medicine. So there's a couple of things that I'm on. I was doing the tallying just recently, and without insurance, I have one injection that I do once a month or twice a month that is $1,500 a month, but I'm on another medicine for the CML that I have, which is $27,000 a month. Pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
So without
I
insurance.
think if more of us knew what our stuff would cost without insurance, I think we would be appalled.
It's crazy
at the cost of things. Yeah, especially in the shots and the vaccines are right in there with it.
Yep, no doubt about it. All right, interesting. We'll see what today brings with us, Tanya. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Have a great day. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio. Wayne says the lead singer in Is It Stained? Were they at the Turning Stone last night?
Yes, they were.
They did a tribute song for Charlie Kirk. A lot of people paying tribute today. Also, President Trump is back from the UK, and I believe he's celebrating the victory over Jimmy Kimmel. And we'll hear more about that as the day and weekend goes on. I want to tell you about Insera's Flooring Outlet. They have top quality carpet, the best. It's gorgeous, amazing ceramic tile, which we just recently purchased. Durable LVP waterproof laminate and vinyl, the best in flooring, the best in floor covering. These are not seconds. This is first line, top of the line, the best. And we say that because Insera's is a flooring store. That's what they do. They don't sell grills and outdoor furniture and lawnmowers, and they sell flooring. That's it. So you're getting experts on flooring, and their experience is just priceless. When you're looking to change the flooring in your home, or maybe it's new construction, whatever it might be, think Insera's. The largest inventory, and you can get 6 months interest-free. They have, because they have such a large inventory, they have that buying power. So there is the price guarantee. They will meet or beat any advertised price out there. When it comes time to shop for new flooring, you know you're getting the best price at Incera's. Sal and their entire crew, experts when it comes to flooring, and they're there to assist you. See why more people buy from the big store, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, just down from our studios. It's Incera's Flooring Outlet and online, incerasflooringoutlet.com. And want to tell you also, speaking of work around the house, maybe you're in an apartment or you know someone, you have grandchildren in an apartment or a home that was built before 1978. If it is, chances are there's lead throughout the house. Could be in the paint. Could be as you open and close the door, little particles enter the air. This can basically contaminate children when it comes to lead, and lead poisoning can hurt a child's brain development, nervous system, speech, hearing, learning, behavior. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider today, but there's help and information at leadfreemv.org. Did you know there's up to $30,000 per unit here in HUD lead hazard reduction funding? Up to $30,000 per place. If you're a landlord, homeowner, property owner, or even a tenant, you can reach out. Call 315-724-4197 or go to leadsafeutica.com. Applications are available. And there's also additional healthy home grants for removal of mold, moisture, asthma triggers, and able to just improve the air quality and energy efficiency. But that lead is something that can be really bad. Again, if that home is constructed before 1978 in the city of Utica, there's a very good chance there's lead. 315-724-4197. Go to leadsafeutica.com. Coming up, Willie Waffle, and we'll get into the Jimmy Kimmel thing a little bit and what's rolling for this week. Also, there was an online stream we asked him to check out, and we'll get into that. Coming up at WIBX.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
We called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
they came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callan. It was a spectacular sight as 7 huge wind turbines in Madison County were blown up. These were the first in New York State some 25 years ago. The 200-foot turbines took about 30 seconds to completely fall yesterday. The turbines are outdated technology and no longer performed efficiently. There are no plans to rebuild. In New York Mills, a local vigil to memorialize Charlie Kirk was held at the Christ the King Church in New York Mills. Members of the Mills community and beyond reflected on the life of the political activist Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated last week.
Cold fronts on the move, and other than a little cloud and fog this morning, the cooler air will start to spill in on the northwest breeze today. As we get into sunshine, high in the low 70s. Tonight, a chilly night down close to 40, maybe patchy frost out across the north country where it will be in the 30s. Great looking weekend, lots of sunshine around, near 70s Saturday, pushing to the upper 70s by Sunday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. A new Siena College poll shows New York Governor Kathy Hochul pulling away from her potential 2026 opponent, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. According to the polls, Stefanik is trailing Hochul 52 to 27%. In the first poll that places Hochul over 50%, Hochul's job approval rating also ticked up from last month. Chobani is taking some heat after it revealed it's doing business with a company called Planet Harvest, which is owned by President Trump's daughter, Ivanka. The company provides imperfect fruit that normally gets discarded, and it provides it to food manufacturers. Currently, Chobani receives strawberries from the company. Some anti-Trump groups have threatened to boycott Chobani after the business deal was revealed. Chobani will open a $1.2 billion clean food manufacturing plant at Griffiths in Rome next fall. Construction is already underway and is expected to provide some 1,000 jobs when it's up and running. In Albany, the area man is arrested after being accused of trying to grab a girl in Schenectady. Police received a report Wednesday from a parent who said 67-year-old Douglas Meyer tried to take their daughter while she was walking home in the city. And it's alleged that Meyer offered the girl candy before attempting to grab her. She ended up getting away unharmed and told her parents what happened. Meyer pleaded not guilty to a child endangerment charge yesterday and was ordered to stay away from the girl. Another batch of mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus have been discovered in upstate New York, this time in Oswego County. 2 infected samples collected in West Monroe recently, weeks after the county sprayed 10,000 acres of land in an attempt to get rid of the insects. People all over upstate New York are urged to wear insect repellent, have on long sleeves and pants while outside, and removing standing water from around their homes. Symptoms of West Nile virus include fever, headache, rash, nausea, and vomiting. And Mohawk Valley Gives is now in its last day. Final opportunity today to give to hundreds of local charities. Simply go to givemv.org. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Guys, have you seen the comments lately?
Yeah, we heard the chatter. The magic's run out. But I just think those people might need a reminder that Utica is richly steeped in hockey history and home to some of the most passionate fans in the world. And that the players are as gritty as the city they represent. Season starts October 10th. Get your season opener tickets at UticaComets.com. This is Utica.
Upgrade your comfort this winter. Add Smart Heat Pump heating and cooling to your home. Call City Suburban today, 315-853-3899, or go online to citysuburban.com. That's citysuburban.com.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let's bring in our man, Willie Waffle, who's standing by right now. Willie, good morning. Good morning. As I told you, sitting in here this morning doing our weather and getting everybody coffee. Jimmy Kimmel, say hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Well, Jimmy has a lot of time on his hands right now. So,
he does.
He might as well start doing something. Because it's not going back to ABC.
It is no, it is not. This is very interesting because it seemed to start. There's a lot of people out there with opinions on this. Although it does seem that ABC is now saying there was talk all week long about canceling the show. I find that interesting. And then the news, everybody's saying it's because of what he said about Charlie Kirk. He said nothing really about Charlie Kirk at all. If you go back and watch the clip from Monday, it was about Charlie Kirk and the way Republicans have handled it, the way Trump handled it, and the way and actually where the assassin was, who he was actually affiliated with, whether he was far left, MAGA, or a combination of the two. That's what got him in trouble. I find it interesting that he would be let go over politics. That's just my take. However, I also am shocked that ABC let it go as long as it did. I don't know if I never really watched the show, but you see clips day in and day out, and it seemed like a war between him and Trump would make a statement on Monday, and then Tuesday, Kimmel would be on, like, ripping into Trump, and it seemed to be personal back and forth. I'm shocked that ABC let it go on as long as they did.
Kimmel got very political around the time COVID hit.
Yeah.
And has been very much an anti-Trump guy since then, and very outspoken since then. It's not like this snuck up on anybody.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like it was a surprise to anybody. Now, as far as was ABC considering firing Jimmy Kimmel before all this happened? His contract is up is up like next year. Like, they were going to go into negotiations this fall about whether or not to extend the show. And, given the landscape of late night television and frankly, the financial aspects to it, there was already a good chance that the Jimmy Kimmel show was going to be just, canceled, was going to be finished. He wasn't doing himself any favors by alienating some of his audience. Now, I think what ended up getting him, and this is kind of long, and you stop me if I've gone too far, but what ended up getting him was the affiliate backlash. So Nexstar, which is the ownership group, they own more. I think they own more television stations in the country than any other group.
Yes.
And they're about to get larger. They just made an offer to buy Tegna Corporation, which also owns many television stations. They came out. They basically said, we don't want Kimmel on the air anymore, and the affiliates are your customers when you are ABC. So when your customer is angry at you, you have problems.
Yeah,
and
you gotta listen.
To make a decision. Now, why was Nexstar angry? And that's where it gets ugly, and that's where it gets controversial, and that's where the politics comes in, because Nexstar is buying Tegna. They have to actually change, if I remember correctly, they have to change an FCC rule, and they have to get approval from the FCC. And when Kimmel made his statements on Monday, I think it was like the next day, the FCC chairman, Mr. Brendan Carr, said, we're going to investigate the licenses of these places to see if they're acting in the public good. And that's what politicized it, and that's what made it a free speech fight, okay?
Yes.
Listen, I think the affiliates had every reason to say, we don't want to broadcast the show. Okay, but it's the reason behind it that is going to be the controversial part and that is the chilling part, that a government entity is now trying to use its power to go after a stupid comedian who said something stupid. I mean, that's what it comes to. This is not about the news.
Correct.
This is about like a comedian running his mouth.
Listen, you are of course, I like it because I agree with you. You are the first person that I have heard tell the real story. This is, if you're listening to this right now, this is the story. It's not that he said something bad about Charlie Kirk. It's not that he that ABC, and I get it that Nexstar and Sinclair, those are the two that and they own really the bulk of TV stations. Nexstar is the largest. Sinclair is number 2. Both of them. Both, by the way, are owned by conservative families, but both of them pulled the show. But the reason they pulled the show is like, and just to give you some background on this, years ago, David Letterman did not air in Utica, Rome. The Late Show with David Letterman did not air here, and why is that? This was in the 80s. It didn't air here because WKTV signed off right after Carson. They did not go 24/7. They did the national anthem and they shut down, and they signed off the air. And then all of a sudden, NBC came along with Letterman. I'm getting into the weeds a bit, but came along with Letterman, and they didn't run it for like 2 or 3 years into it. And finally, it got really popular. And finally, maybe 4 years after Letterman started, they started to run it. TV stations have the right to say, I'm not going to run something. And the other part of this that is key that you mentioned is the FCC chair. I believe he's the chairman.
He's the chairman.
He's a commissioner. There are 5, but 2 seats have not been filled yet. So there are really only 3. There's a chairman and 2 other commissioners, but the chairman has all the power. He also is very unique because he is a very big Trump supporter, and he's very vocal. And he did an interview, and he said, because they really don't necessarily go after the networks, they go after the stations, which they govern, that run the network programming. And he said, we're just going to go after the TV stations on hate speech. And that's where this all came from. And you're right. This is not about Jimmy Kimmel. This is why I feel people should be bothered by this. You can hate Jimmy Kimmel, but if this can be done to Jimmy Kimmel, maybe in 5 years, Democrats are in power, and all of a sudden they're threatening TV stations that run Fox and conservative programming. I find this is a very dangerous, slippery slope, Willie. Personally.
Well, and I mean, am I the only person who remembers that a few years ago, I want to say back around 2020, a lot of people were very outraged that the New York Post was being censored by social media companies because the New York Post had run a story where they had obtained Biden's kid's laptop.
Yes.
And they were pummeled and censored in many ways, and people on the right were very outraged.
Yep.
And I believe this is very much the same thing.
I agree.
And I agree with you. I mean, right now, if you are cheering Jimmy Kimmel's demise, okay. But, I'm with you. In a few years, we might have a different person. We might have a Gavin Newsom. We might have, who knows, in office now going after your people.
Yeah.
And because payback seems to be the currency of politics anymore. It seems like, we're all concerned about getting revenge for something that happened before, or getting revenge for our people because they were attacked earlier, and it never seems to stop. And that really bothers me as well. Let's not forget the other part of the FCC. Disney, which owns ABC, has some issues.
Another deal.
They're going before the FCC because the NFL is getting a piece of Disney and ESPN, and so they have regulatory issues that they're going to be facing and approvals that they need, and so they could be wanting to curry favor. Now, a friend of mine asked me. He said, "Will Jimmy Kimmel ever come back to ABC?" And I said, "Nope. It's over." They are just. I'm honest. I believe right now the only thing that's going on is a bunch of lawyers are sitting together, going through that contract and figuring out what is the least amount of money we have to pay Jimmy Kimmel
exactly right.
to tell him goodbye.
He's going to make a lot of money out of this, and but here's the other part of this. I feel like this will actually, in a way, boost Kimmel. And this is the next move, which is already happening. We're already going there. This is like he's been nudged to just go online, and whether that be podcast form or whatever, clips on Instagram, I don't know, but there will be a platform for him, and I feel like this may be the demise also of late night television. Although if you're Jimmy Fallon, you're either shaking in your boots, but at the same time you're like, I'm the only one left. This is good for me.
Well, financially, late night television was coming to an end anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only a matter of time. This is just hastening it, and I think this is giving a lot of people a lot of excuses. Like all of a sudden they can be like, "Hey, Trump hated me, and that's why they ended my show."
Yeah.
No, in some cases they were really expensive, and they didn't want to pay you.
That's exactly right. So there is a lot here. I wish we could go on and on and on about this because it's all very interesting to me, and I think something we should all pay attention to. Watch for change. That's all I can say. I hate to say we're out of time, Willie. We'll do this again next week, but differently next week.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Have a great weekend. Thank you. Finally, Willie Waffle. I agree with him. I love it.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Honoring Charlie Kirk while naming a new leader, CJ Papa, Fox News. The widow of Charlie Kirk is the new CEO for Turning Point USA. The decision to name Erica Kirk is what the slain leader wanted. In the event of his death, said the conservative organization on X. Fox's Claudia Cowan has more.
Communities are preparing a weekend of services to honor Kirk's legacy and preserve his memory, starting with the campus where this tragedy unfolded last week. Utah Valley University will host a Vigil for Unity to allow students, staff, and members of the community to come together in remembrance and healing. The university president says many have approached her about wanting to remember Kirk at the place where he died in a permanent way. Also in Glendale, Arizona, the president and vice president are among those scheduled to speak at Charlie Kirk's big public memorial service on Sunday.
That's Fox's Claudia Cowan, but not everyone is mourning the 31-year-old's death. President Trump on Fox The Story was asked about a protester arrested at a memorial in Arizona.
This maniac runs through the flowers, kicking them all down and stepping and stomping on them. Unfortunately, somebody grabbed him and gave him a rap. But the guy looks like a normal guy. And who would do that?
disappeared at the start of June in Washington State after police accused him of kidnapping and killing his 3 young girls.
Authorities in Washington State believe they found the remains of Travis Decker. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says human remains were discovered Thursday night in a remote wooded area near Leavenworth. Speaking of Fox 13 Seattle, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says police are still waiting to confirm the identity of the remains, but
we do feel pretty confident that there's a high probability this is him, just based off the clothing, some other personal items that we found on scene.
Decker's daughters, age 5, 8, and 9, were found suffocated in June. Decker had been on the run for 3 months. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
America is listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
President Trump with another message to European nations.
I let it be known, and people were surprised to hear that, but they were doing it quietly and slyly. And you can't do that. You know, if you're going to win, you're going to have to not buy oil from Russia.
The commander-in-chief believes if you stop sending money to fund Russia's war in Ukraine, President Putin will come to the peace table. But the UK's outgoing spy chief saying today there's absolutely no evidence that Putin wants to negotiate peace in Ukraine. Sir Richard Moore adding Putin thought he was going to win an easy victory, but he and many others underestimated the Ukrainians. President Trump wakes up this morning at the White House. Fox's Alexandria Hoff.
No easing of tariffs, but a major tech agreement was reached to maximize AI growth in the U.S. and U.K. To power it, President Trump and Prime Minister Starmer also signed a multi-billion-dollar deal to fast-track more nuclear power plants. Of course, the other goal of that being to end reliance on Russian nuclear material. But there's another global effort in the works, that is to retake Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan from the Taliban. President Trump is set to speak with China's President Xi Jinping to finalize a TikTok deal.
When that call takes place, we'll let you know. The federal government could run out of money by the end of the month if both sides don't come up with a way to keep the cash flowing.
We offered a totally clean short-term CR to get that job done. Chuck Schumer saw that. He returned a counteroffer that is filled with partisan wish list and poison pills and demands.
That's House Speaker Mike Johnson, speaking of Fox, does believe he can get the bill over the goal line. Now, the stakes are high. National parks could close, veterans could face delays, and millions of federal workers risk furloughs. Air traffic controllers would work without pay, while training and hiring would be sidelined. The trial of alleged would-be assassin Ryan Ruth continues today in Florida. Prosecutors say they have one witness left. That's an FBI agent. I'm CJ Papa, and this is Fox News.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. A new Siena College poll shows New York Governor Kathy Hochul pulling away from her potential 2026 opponent, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. According to the polls, Stefanik is trailing Hochul 52 to 27%. In the first poll that places Hochul over 50%, Hochul's job approval rating also ticked up from last month. Chobani is taking some heat after it revealed it's doing business with a company called Planet Harvest, which is owned by President Trump's daughter, Ivanka. The company provides imperfect fruit that normally gets discarded, and it provides it to food manufacturers. Currently, Chobani receives strawberries from the company. Some anti-Trump groups have threatened to boycott Chobani after the business deal was revealed. Chobani will open a $1.2 billion clean food manufacturing plant at Griffiths in Rome next fall. Construction is already underway and is expected to provide some 1,000 jobs when it's up and running. In Albany, the area man is arrested after being accused of trying to grab a girl in Schenectady. Police received a report Wednesday from a parent who said 67-year-old Douglas Meyer tried to take their daughter while she was walking home in the city. And it's alleged that Meyer offered the girl candy before attempting to grab her. She ended up getting away unharmed and told her parents what happened. Meyer pleaded not guilty to a child endangerment charge yesterday and was ordered to stay away from the girl. Another batch of mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus have been discovered in upstate New York, this time in Oswego County. 2 infected samples collected in West Monroe recently, weeks after the county sprayed 10,000 acres of land in an attempt to get rid of the insects. People all over upstate New York are urged to wear insect repellent, have on long sleeves and pants while outside, and removing standing water from around their homes. Symptoms of West Nile virus include fever, headache, rash, nausea, and vomiting. Plenty of eyes on the skies above in northern New York as the annual Adirondack Balloon Festival continues this weekend. It's being held at the Floyd Bennett Memorial Airport in Queensbury all weekend long, and the final big party of the summer is taking place in the state's capital region. The Red, White, and Brew Festival is happening outside MVP Arena, and it'll run from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. The event will feature 5 performances from national recording artist Tyler Farr, and this year's headline, Randy Houser. The family-friendly event is free to attend and helps honor our nation's veterans in the state's capital in Albany. A teenager is facing charges for allegedly making threats against fellow students at a Queens high school. NYPD officials say the incident happened Thursday at one of the high schools there. Authorities say a 16-year-old student made a threat on social media to shoot the school up. The FBI learned of the threat and called the NYPD, who sent officers to the local and federal law enforcement agents are gathering in New York City this week to prepare for next week's United Nations General Assembly. New York City police leaders say security will be high, as it is usually for the event. And Mohawk Valley Gives is now in its last day. Final opportunity today to give to hundreds of local charities, all tax deductible. You can give to one charity or spread it around and give to several. Simply go to givemv.org and search for your favorite charity. Here's an example, as I did last night. Search Real Men Get Tested for Cancer, a charity that grabs our attention here, and give. Simply, it's tax deductible. Go to givemv.org. In sports, the Buffalo Bills remain among the ranks of the NFL's unbeaten. After a double-digit victory at home, Bills quarterback and reigning lead MVP Josh Allen threw for 213 yards and tossed 3 touchdown passes as the Bills beat the Dolphins last night on Amazon Prime. The Giants are prime time for the first time in 3 weeks, or actually in 3 weeks this week. New York is hosting the Kansas City Chiefs for Sunday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. The Jets hitting the road for the first time this season. The green and white will be searching for their first victory as they take on Tampa Bay. The Yankees open up their series against the Orioles with a 7-0 win from Baltimore. In college football this weekend, Syracuse plays at Clemson. Utica University is at Hobart on Saturday. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Cold fronts on the move, and other than a little cloud and fog this morning, the cooler air will start to spill in on the northwest breeze today. As we get into sunshine, high in the low 70s. Tonight, a chilly night, down close to 40, maybe patchy frost out across the north country where it will be in the 30s. Great looking weekend, lots of sunshine around, near 70 Saturday, pushing to the upper 70s by Sunday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, we have partly cloudy skies and 56 currently at WIBX. We'll talk about Mohawk Valley Gives, and personally, we would like you to give at least a portion of what you're giving to Real Men Get Tested. And you'd go to givemv.org, as Doug Callan said. And actually, Doug is listed on the list of givers, contributors here today. Go to givemv.org and search Real Men Get Tested. Or by the time you put real in, R-E-A-L, it'll pop up. And if you could give, it's listen, Tim Reed and and me, there's no administrative fees, there's no profit, there's no payments that go to us at all. This is all, every penny is used to market the message to get tested, as men tend to procrastinate, and it kind of focuses on men for that reason. Real men get tested for cancer. Look forward to givemv.org, and if you can give, or if you're giving, just consider some of what you're giving to go to Real Men Get Tested. We'd appreciate it. It runs till, I believe, 6 p.m. tonight at givemv.org. We're going to talk with those people coming up. $250 on the line for a bike is free money question of the day. We'll get to that coming up at 7:35 here on WIBX.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Copper City Community Connection in Rome is very excited to announce their first ever gift card bingo. The balls start rolling on Sunday, September 28th at 1 p.m. There is an entry fee of $10 that includes 1 free card, with each additional card for $2. There will be 10 games and a 50-50 drawing. Food will be available to purchase all day. Get ready to shout bingo at Copper City Community Connection's first ever gift card bingo, 305 East Locust Street in Rome.
Together, we can do more. On September 19th, our community will hold Mohawk Valley Gives, an online day of giving to benefit area nonprofits. Your Mohawk Valley Gives donation will help hundreds of nonprofit organizations meet our community's greatest needs, and every dollar counts. Join us on September 19th at GiveMV.org and let's show everybody that Mohawk Valley gives. Powered by the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties and Up Mobility Foundation. MV Gives is proudly sponsored by Staffworks and M&T Bank.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Couple things. Barneveld, time to celebrate. GPO Federal Credit Union is marking 10 years in Barneveld. With a decade of dedication, celebrate with GPO. In September, and enter to win the Barneveld Bundle, $350 in local gift cards when you open or refer a checking account at the Barneveld branch. You can stop in every Friday today for September prizes, swag, and sweet treats. There's free paper shredding with Confidata. And Confidata, yeah. And in addition, you can help give back. Donate canned goods all month long at the branch for Foothills Rural Community Ministry. And a big thank you from GPO to Barneville for 10 amazing years. As they say, let's celebrate. Visit gpofcu.com for full details. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence. Membership eligibility required. NCUA insured. Entry in the contest is based on opening a checking account. See Bridge for full details. Contest ends September 30th, 2025, the end of this month. And Mazda, Ricky Z, and everybody over there at Steve Ponte Mazda. Mazda has transformed a successful, amazing, race-proven technology into your new Mazda. Save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 2.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s and CX-5s with 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-50s, 70s, and 90s. See the dealership for details. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And in studio right now is Kayla and Courtney from the Community Foundation. Guys, good morning. Ladies, good morning.
Bill, how's it going?
How are you?
It's so nice to be here. We're great. We're fantastic.
We just got another donation at Real Men Get Tested. We're pretty excited about that.
Oh, good.
I mean, we're down there, but you know, we're not up.
The day's not over.
Exactly.
The
day
day's
is just beginning. Yes. Really.
It is. And today is the big day. So let's talk about what today is and all of the opportunities people have out there to give.
Yeah, so today's Mohawk Valley Gives Day, September 19th. It's a day to support all of your favorite local nonprofits. We have over 380 nonprofits participating in this day. A lot of them have matches and challenges, so that can help increase your support to those area nonprofits.
Yeah. And it's amazing how much money this community comes up with during this, right?
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Last year, we raised the most we had ever raised through the campaign, $5.2 million. And I don't know if you remember, Bill, last year when we were on the show, right here in these chairs, we reached the 1 million mark. So we're approaching the 2 million mark right now. We're like, we're getting close.
Wow.
So I'm like,
It's
maybe
ticking
by
up.
the end of our interview, we'll hit it.
Yeah, if there's someone out there that wants to, give maybe $800,000-$900,000 or something,
Please do. Please
we
do.
could really.
We're here.
That would be
We're
nice.
here.
We're at actually 1.9 right now.
We're at 1.9 right now.
Okay,
You got it. And the number keeps rolling.
That's really awesome. And all tax deductible.
All tax
Which
deductible.
is-
And your gift, whatever nonprofits you choose to support, goes directly to them.
Yes.
So that's cash in their bank account right away.
Which is enormous. So you did the party bus the other day. I saw some pictures from that, which was a blast. It looked like you had a blast.
We had a fantastic time surprising 5 local nonprofits on our prize patrol. So what we did was we said, hey, we're coming for a photo opportunity. They didn't really know what to expect. We roll up with this huge bus donated by Hale Transportation that was all decked out with decals on the side. And we get out with a big check for $1,000. And all of our staff and sponsors were all decked out in Mohawk Valley Gives gear, swag. It was a great time.
And you're like did you see the most recent prize patrol story out there that people who have won like you've won $1,000 a week for life or whatever.
Yeah.
But they've gone.
Oh, the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Publishers Clearinghouse has gone bankrupt.
Oh no!
So, yes,
oh gosh!
Bill.
They have gone bankrupt because who's buying magazines today?
So true.
That's really what that was all about, and so they went bankrupt, and now all those people, they got what they got so far, but the payments are going to stop. But you're not. I mean, this is obviously your prize.
Different.
This is our
Just so we're
take.
clear, very different.
Your prize patrol is the real deal. You actually
the real deal.
You hand out the money, and there's no.
And it's a one-time check.
It's a one-time.
One-time
it's not
check.
$1,000 a week.
And it's kind of the prize patrol. We did that on Mohawk Valley Gives Day last year. This year we did it a couple days
earlier,
before,
yeah.
just to kind of generate some excitement. And we're going to be awarding a lot more prizes, cash prizes, to the nonprofits all throughout the day today.
That's
so
awesome.
That's going to be great.
We have all week long kind of been a little biased, saying if you give, you simply go to GiveMV. MV Give.
No,
GiveMV. You got it.
GiveMV.org.
Go to givemv.org. And the example we gave all week long was just type in real men get tested. And just if you type in real,
it comes up.
It comes right up.
Yep.
So that's how you can give. It's all tax deductible. And the other thing you can do is say you have a large chunk of change you want to give, or maybe it's small. You can split it up. You can give to many different charities.
Many charities. So there is a shopping cart feature on the site, which is really nice. So if you want to donate to, 5 different organizations, you don't have to do 5 different transactions. You can just add them to your cart. You can give 50 to one, 100 to another, and add them all right to the cart. You'll get a tax receipt or a gift receipt in your email directly after that. So it makes it just really trying to make it as simple as possible to give to many organizations.
And there are some that I don't know if you want to go over some of them, but there are some who have already, like as of Wednesday or Thursday, Davey, you were reading off a list of some nonprofits that have raised a lot of money.
They're killing it.
Yeah, so if you do go to the website, givemv.org, you can see our leaderboards. And right now, Kayla's actually pulling it up and checking. Who's at the top of the leaderboard, Kayla?
Holy Family Parish in Little Falls has raised $76,000.
Wow.
Over $76,000.
Wow.
But you know what's driving a lot of that is we have so many matches this year.
Right.
So matches are basically a donor has committed a certain dollar amount to match. And so, someone in the community out there is donating $50, they're matching it. So you're getting
now it's a $100
yeah,
donation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it's more than that.
Right.
We have some 2 to 1, 3 to 1 matches going on too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anything else you want people to know? It's very easy. You just fill out the information, and it's pretty simple to give.
It is.
And
all day today. I think the one thing I do want to mention is donations are going to close at 9:00 tonight.
Oh, it's
so
9
that's a
o'clock.
little bit of a change from the past. We have typically run up until midnight.
Okay.
So 9:00 p.m. is the cutoff. So any donations you're trying to make,
get them in.
Get them in there.
Get them in. Okay. Anything else you want people to know?
No, one last time, the website's givemv.org. Go ahead, hop on there and support your favorite local nonprofits.
Okay. Love it. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the party bus looked like a blast. So
it was. It was great.
The prize patrol.
Prize patrol.
No worries on that prize patrol. They give it out. They're one-time gifts, and you don't have to worry like Publishers Clearinghouse, for God's sakes. Okay, got a break. Hold tight.
Right.
We'll come right back. How bike is free money question. We give away money, too. It's $250 today. $250 is on the line. We'll see if somebody walks away with that. Coming up at WIBX.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Upgrade your comfort this winter. Add Smart Heat Pump heating and cooling to your home. Call City Suburban today, 315-853-3899, or go online to citysuburban.com. That's citysuburban.com.
You know what they say about judging a book by its cover? Everyone with an addiction has a story to tell. Don't know? Don't judge. Addiction is a treatable medical condition. What helps people seek treatment is support. What does not help is shame and stigma. We can all make a difference. Learn how at oasis.ny.gov. The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. Every step of the way.
Hey, it's Polly from Big Frog 104 with the perfect solution for your manufactured or mobile home problems. John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. If you've had issues with your furnace, now is the time to think about replacing it. Don't wait until next winter. Your skirting around the home could have taken a little beating. John has skirting too. With energy costs continuing to rise and no relief in sight, you need to make sure your mobile or manufactured home is energy efficient. John has new doors and windows in stock as well. Find it all at John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories.com.
Hey, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills wants people to know they are incredibly appreciative of the fact that they have so many new patients. And now it's to the point where they were inundated with new patients. They're looking for a new doctor, a new physician, a new provider for the Falcon Clinic. And as they search for a new provider, it may take a little while to get people in as new patients currently because they have had such an increase. When they receive confirmation of their new physician, they'll let everybody know here, and they'll begin adding new patients all over again. It's the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. It's the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills with Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, and they take a different approach to your health. Obviously, Dr. Shemaleski spent years in the ER, and it may be medicine, but there may be things you can do to improve your health that could avoid taking those prescriptions. Check it out at the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. And if you're looking for things to do this weekend, there's much happening out there. It is Herkimer County, and a lot happening in Herkimer County. You know, I believe, Davey, is it the Garlic Fest that's coming up soon? That'll be happening in Little Falls.
It's the Cheese Festival.
The Cheese Festival. The Garlic Festival was last weekend. It's and they load them up. The Cheese Festival is enormous as well. But there's so much more going on in Herkimer County, whether you're all the way up in Old Forge or going along the Erie Canal. Herkimer County has much to offer. And if you have an event that you'd like to promote, you can simply go to herkimercountyny.gov/events, where you can find everything that's happening, or you can submit an item, an event that's happening. Fall is an amazing time in our region and in Herkimer County. Whether you're local or just passing through, check out Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It is happening in Herkimer County. herkimercountyny.gov/events.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Coming up, we'll do Ho Bikers, free money question of the day. And this morning, it could be worth $250 for you. I don't know if you were one of those upset this week at Aldi. They had a big promotion where they were giving away 1,000 of their big bags with the Aldi logo on it, because now, of course, you got to walk in with a bag, right? You got to have the bag. And they were giving away these big bags. Apparently, they sold out within minutes. It sold out. And some of the Aldi fans not happy about it. Here is Samantha Joanna talking about how she was very, very upset that she was unable to get one of the Aldi bags.
This message is for Aldi and Aldi only. I went online at 9 o'clock this morning to get the Aldi big bag. It didn't get dropped until 9:01. And I clicked it to add it to my cart. I waited in the cart. It is now 9:18. It continued to tell me that it was 38 minutes and then counted all the way down to 23 minutes. And then it tells me my cart is sold out. Yes, you had 1,000 bags. But I was in there at 9:01. Technically, 9 o'clock. I just wanted a big bag.
I wouldn't give her a bag if I had 30 sitting in my trunk. Very annoying. Anyway, people were very upset. And so Aldi is trying to come up with a new supply where everybody can get their stupid bags. Let's see. I have Corey Ruth is the CEO of Mergence Global, worked on GOP presidential campaigns of Carly Fiorina and Mitt Romney as well. And the big topic today is Jimmy Kimmel. And Corey, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, boy, as the dust settles on this, we find there's a lot going on here with the Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Yeah. I think I've been surprised at the reaction. It doesn't seem like the sort of trigger that would spark this much curiosity in the public, but it's obviously more curiosity than his ratings will bring in.
Yeah. So it's interesting when you look at the numbers that Carson used to. But, of course, there were 3 channels in those days. There was one late show, and everybody watched The Tonight Show. It's certainly different today, although I think Jimmy Fallon is probably pretty excited. He's the gonna end up being the last one standing, at least for now. So what's your take on the removal of Kimmel?
First off, I don't believe that ABC, made this move in response to the threat from the FCC. I think there was some correlation. It all happened at the same time. ABC does not own any of these local networks. These local networks are owned by affiliates like Nexstar and Sinclair, who own hundreds of networks, and those 2 affiliates complained to the FCC and made a decision to preempt the show, which means they won't show future episodes. I think the ABC executives made a ratings decision, which is an industry-wide slump. I also think, they made an executive decision because these late-night television shows are, they spend about $100 million annually on these shows, and they're losing about $40 million.
Sure.
And so I think this was an economic decision more than anything else.
Yeah. And you don't think the FCC threatening to go after the local stations, you don't think that played any role?
Look, I think that was hanging out there, right? You got lawsuits by Donald Trump against the New York Times, against ABC News, by the way, that was settled in 2024 for, I believe, about $15 million plus another $1 million for legal fees. You got Trump against CBS. You got Trump against the Wall Street Journal.
Right.
And then prior to that, there was a rash of conservatives suing television networks for a lot of money. You remember Nicholas Salmon sued CNN for like $275 million, as well as NBC and Washington Post. And so I think the threat sort of has to be seen in that context. So if you're an executive at ABC, you're like, hey, we don't need another one of these.
That's
We
right.
just paid out a lot of money, and you got to be able to read the room. And so if you're Jimmy Kimmel, you're on-air talent, you're as big as any executive, right? That's like the front office versus their star player, and he clearly didn't read the room from that regard. So that didn't help his case.
Yeah. All right. Interesting stuff, Corey. We appreciate your amazing insight. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Thanks. I just couldn't go on any longer with that guy. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. It's not even that he's referring to stuff. First of all, Nexstar and Sinclair are not networks. They are ownership groups like Town Square Media. Nexstar, for instance, owns WTR and Fox, the WFXV. They own television stations, and small Nexstar in particular is the largest in the country. Most of their stations are in small and medium-sized markets, similar to ours all across the country. And then Sinclair is number 2, and they own in larger markets, but again, all around the country. And they are the ones that were being, and the FCC chair said on Tuesday, we're going to go after on hate speech, we're going to go after these local TV stations because it's the FCC that basically governs television and radio, us and TV. So just to clear that up, the network is ABC. The network pays Jimmy Kimmel, and that is true. I do think that there was a lot of money and they were losing a lot of money just because the market is oversaturated. I did enjoy talking about this with Willie Waffle because he knows what he's talking about. Coming up, we'll do Hobica's free money question of the day. We'll get to that in a second. And let's update the news, though, first here on WIBX. After that, we're talking to Democratic Congressman Josh Riley about the Charlie Kirk assassination. And also, where is he going to be on this government shutdown? Are we going to go down on a road again where we're going to shut down everything? That would not be good. We'll do all that coming right up at WIBX.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. A new Siena College poll shows New York Governor Kathy Hochul pulling away from her potential 2026 opponent, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. According to the polls, Stefanik is trailing Hochul 52 to 27%. In the first poll that places Hochul over 50%, Hochul's job approval rating also ticked up from last month. Chobani is taking some heat after it revealed it's doing business with a company called Planet Harvest, which is owned by President Trump's daughter, Ivanka. The company provides imperfect fruit that normally gets discarded, and it provides it to food manufacturers. Currently, Chobani receives strawberries from the company. Some anti-Trump groups have threatened to boycott Chobani after the business deal was revealed. Chobani will open a $1.2 billion clean food manufacturing plant at Griffiths in Rome next fall. Construction is already underway and is expected to provide some 1,000 jobs when it's up and running. In Albany, the area man is arrested after being accused of trying to grab a girl in Schenectady. Police received a report Wednesday from a parent who said 67-year-old Douglas Meyer tried to take their daughter while she was walking home in the city. And it's alleged that Meyer offered the girl candy before attempting to grab her. She ended up getting away unharmed and told her parents what happened. Meyer pleaded not guilty to a child endangerment charge yesterday and was ordered to stay away from the girl. Another batch of mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus have been discovered in upstate New York, this time in Oswego County. 2 infected samples collected in West Monroe recently, weeks after the county sprayed 10,000 acres of land in an attempt to get rid of the insects. People all over upstate New York are urged to wear insect repellent, have on long sleeves and pants while outside, and removing standing water from around their homes. Symptoms of West Nile virus include fever, headache, rash, nausea, and vomiting. And Mohawk Valley Gives is now in its last day. Final opportunity today to give to hundreds of local charities. Simply go to givemv.org. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Cold fronts on the move, and other than a little cloud and fog this morning, the cooler air will start to spill in on the northwest breeze today. As we get into sunshine, high in the low 70s. Tonight, a chilly night down close to 40, maybe patchy frost out across the north country where it will be in the 30s. Great looking weekend, lots of sunshine around, near 70s Saturday, pushing to the upper 70s by Sunday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, it's cloudy skies, and we're currently at 59 degrees. Let's do Hobica's free money question, Davey, this morning. It's worth $250 from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. And, Davey, you're looking for caller number...
Caller number 5.
5 right now. Your chance to walk away with a couple $100, $250. Caller 5 right now at 315-736-0186. We'll do the free money question next on WIBX.
You know what they say about judging a book by its cover? Everyone with an addiction has a story to tell. Don't know? Don't judge. Addiction is a treatable medical condition. What helps people seek treatment is support. What does not help is shame and stigma. We can all make a difference. Learn how at oasis.ny.gov. The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. Every step of the way.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there's one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care, choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
Looking to fall into savings with a reliable ride without the brand new price tag? Then it's time to harvest the deals at Steep Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. Check out their Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles, perfect for autumn adventures, from leaf-peeping road trips to crisp morning commutes. Every vehicle comes back by a certified warranty and low financing options, so you can drive with confidence through every season. Right now, qualified buyers can lock in cozy fall rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on top models like the Chevy Blazer, Cruze, Equinox, Malibu, Trailblazer, and Trax. At Steep Pawnee Chevrolet, their family-owned team makes car buying simple, stress-free, and neighborly. You'll drive away warm, confident, and covered in a Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicle. But don't wait. These fall savings won't last past September 30th. So gather the family and head to Steep Pawnee Chevrolet, where it's always easy to do business. Visit us on State Route 28 in Herkimer or online anytime at steeppawneechevy.com. All taxes and fees additional. Customer must qualify for top tier credit through GM Financial. See salesperson for details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So I was hearing some rumors that that maybe Paul Anka might end up being in town for a private function. That's what we're hearing. And I have a funny Paul Anka story. I was doing a wedding at Valley View. Chuck Sedella was running Valley View at the time, Davey. And you've DJ'd weddings, right? That sort of thing. So you have that moment where you have to, there's the father-daughter dance, and then everybody wanted to do the groom and his mom. Not everybody does it, but some end up doing it. In this case, the groom wanted to dance with his mom. So they picked a song, and it was that Kodak song by Paul Anka, Memories of the Times of Your Life, I think is the name of the song. You're familiar with that? Memories.
Yes, I am.
The time of your life. Anyway, I had the song, and it was on one of those oldie goldie 45s. At the time, we were still playing vinyl, carrying records up the stairs or wherever in these venues.
And you fell down.
Didn't fall down. Actually, I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is a 45. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Joey Blow and his mom, the groom and his mom, and their special song. And all of a sudden, I crank it up, and Times of Your Life, Memories by Paul Anka did not play. I unfortunately queued up the flip side, and we started playing for the groom and his mom, You're Having My Baby.
Oh, jeez. Wrong speed, huh?
No, wrong song.
Oh.
Right? Get it? Okay. Nonetheless, one of the great Paul Anka, two of the great Paul Anka songs right there. Our free money question today has nothing to do with Paul Anka. Sherry is on the line right now in New York Mills. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning.
You weren't the mother of the bride, were you? You weren't at that wedding, were you, at the Valley View at that time?
It is a funny story.
Believe me, pretty embarrassing on my part. But what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? You just stop it and you turn it back over and they get their song. Everybody's happy. All right, I'm going to throw this at you. This is one of those guess questions. Hopefully you can guess correctly and you walk away with $250. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. You know that Jimmy Kimmel was just fired from late night TV, one of the late shows. Of course, Jimmy Fallon is now one of the last ones standing. So here is your question. Johnny Carson holds the record for tenure on The Tonight Show. How many years was he there? Ready, go.
52.
Was he there for 52 years? So I had this question posed to me yesterday, and I knew that he started in the early 60s, and I knew he was done in the 90s. So you have let's say maybe 8 years in the 60s, 10 years, now we're at 18, 10 years in the 70s. Then he was in the 80s for 10 years. So now we're at, so I guessed like 33. The correct answer is 30. I would have accepted 29 because it was just shy of 30, but the answer is 30.
I was way off.
Yeah. Well, listen, it felt like he was there for 52 years, right? Kind of. He was there for a long time. All right. Well, listen, the Comets are going to be opening up soon at home in October. We have the all-in-one food and fun card for you. It's a $25 gift card, and I'm going to have you stand by. Davey's going to hook you up with that. It's good at Aquavino or Babes, Taylor and the Cook, or at the gift shop, or at any of the food stops at the Odd or Nexus. All right.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, Sherry, stand by. Davey's going to take care of you here. What's next? Are you ready for me here? All right. Anyway, she wins from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. For all of your legal needs, call the Hobeika Law Firm at 315-724-1600. A lot of stuff going on in the news, whether we're talking about the looming government shutdown, which is possible, Charlie Kirk, the assassination, the Jimmy Kimmel story. There's just so much happening. And on the line right now is Congressman Josh Riley from the 19th Congressional District. Congressman, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, Bill. It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me back. And call me Josh, please.
So, Josh, let's start with the horrific assassination of conservative political person, Charlie Kirk. I mean, that was certainly terrible. What is your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's horrific. And, you know, I don't agree with a lot of what Charlie Kirk said. Some things I do, a lot of it I don't. But at the end of the day, if free speech is to mean anything in this country, it's to mean you can have debates, you can argue, you can have disagreements. I mean, we need that. There's just no place at all for the terrorism and political violence that we're seeing across the country recently. There's just no place for it.
How do you react when people like the president and really vehemently the vice president puts the blame on Democrats, saying it's when you're comparing Trump to Nazi tactics, to Hitler, to evil, that this is what caused the attack and ultimately the murder of Charlie Kirk. How do you respond to that?
Well, that's not the way I talk about people, and I really think we need to, I know this has almost become cliche, but it's true. We just really need to take the temperature down. I think a big part of the issue here is that we have just become so disconnected from each other. I was walking through the park the other day, and there were, I don't know, a couple dozen college kids in the park, and every single one of them was looking down on their phones, scrolling. Nobody was talking to each other. And what I would love to see our country do in this moment, instead of pointing fingers at each other, blaming each other, and just ratcheting up tensions, I would love to see people go out, find somebody who they disagree with, talk to each other about your families, talk to each other about what you're doing over the weekend, and find some areas of agreement. I will tell you, the night that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, we had votes on the floor we were there for probably over an hour. And I do this pretty often, but I definitely wanted to do it that night. I went over and I sat for the whole time during votes on the Republican side of the aisle with my Republican friends, especially my Republican friends who have little kids at home. And it was a very, very small gesture, but for me it was meaningful because I wanted folks to just have an opportunity for all of us to remind each other we have so much more in common than these people who are committing this horrific violence.
Yeah. Have you ramped up your security?
I have, unfortunately. One of the things, I think you know me well enough now. I'm not really a politician. This is the first office I've ever held. And I try not to follow the political playbook that too many people follow around this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that for me means just sort of like showing up in places and trying to be really accessible to people. And the idea of having a security presence around, that interferes with that, I think. And so I never did that. We have unfortunately had a lot of security concerns over the last couple of weeks, including specific threats against me. So we've had to change some of our schedule. And I just think it's so unfortunate. I mean, for us and me, and I have a young family, it sucks. But for my community and the people I represent, I want to be out with you and spending all my time with you. And it just creates a hurdle to make that happen easily. So I'm hoping we get back to some sense of normalcy.
It is, right. It is. It's a tough time. And the other thing I wonder, and listen, and we'll get to, I do want to ask you about Jimmy Kimmel and a free speech issue, but the free speech is obviously, for somebody who's on the radio, you can imagine is a pretty big deal. I'm sure it is for you as well. But I do wonder if are we going down a tough, a difficult road, especially with kids. And you mentioned college students with their heads down, always in the phone, always. But we're being fed content, and oftentimes it's content that suits your needs or your beliefs. But oftentimes you're getting clips and taken out of context, and this happens on both sides. It certainly has been happening with the things that Charlie Kirk has said. They'll use a clip but not put it in complete context. So I almost feel like and let's not. Yesterday, I think a report came out that a lot of this is coming from Russia, where their intent is to divide us. I wonder if at some point we're going to do a study on kids and how this has affected them. It's bad enough for adults, but what is it doing to kids?
Yeah, I'm terrified. I mean, I just 2 weeks ago I dropped my son off for his first day of kindergarten, and I'm terrified of the world that he is growing up in. I mean, it's honestly it's a huge part of the reason why I got into politics, to try to shape it in any possible way that I can. But no, I think this is it's a real security threat. Like, you've been following this thing with China and TikTok, right?
Yeah.
There's the Russian influence that you're talking about. And so I'm really afraid that what's happening is a lot of these countries are weaponizing social media and weaponizing information, and they're just dividing us up and they're pitting us against each other. And the world is a really, really complicated place. And if we were doing this right, the way we would do it is, frankly, I think the way most upstate New Yorkers do it, which is you give each other the benefit of the doubt, you have your disagreements, you hash things out. You may end up having to agree to disagree, but it's more than a 5-second clip on social media to have empathy and an informed opinion about this stuff. So yeah, I agree with you, man. It's really scary.
It is scary, and your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel? It does seem that there were comments made by the new FCC chair, some very aggressive. It sounded. I thought I was listening to President Trump talk about Jimmy Kimmel, but very aggressively speaking about Kimmel, and then saying, "Listen, we're just going to go after the TV stations." Shortly after that, Sinclair and Nexstar announced that they were pulling the Jimmy Kimmel show, and then before you knew it, the program was pulled by Disney. Your thoughts on that? I mean, it had gotten pretty bad between Kimmel and Trump, this back and forth. That show became extremely political.
Yeah, and I mean, look, that is, you can agree with Jimmy Kimmel or disagree with Jimmy Kimmel. You could think he's funny or you could think he's not funny, but political satire is kind of the core of the First Amendment and one of the things that this country was founded on. I mean, if we start losing our ability for comedians of all people to speak truth to power or to make fun of. Look, I get it probably as much as anybody. You should be able to make fun of your elected officials. That's just a core part of political speech and democracy. And when you have the government cracking down on that, that is, I think, it's just blatantly unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And the other aspect of this is it's like our economy, power in our economy has just gotten so concentrated in the hands of a handful of big players. And then they use that power in ways that hurt consumers. In this case, hurts free speech rights. And so I think my hope is that the courts are going to step in and set this right. But the other piece of it, too, that we can't lose sight of is we should be doubling, tripling, quadrupling funding for law enforcement and the cops on the beat who are cracking down on the monopolies and these mergers so that these big media conglomerates don't have the power to do this kind of stuff.
Let's talk about, before we let you go, if we can talk about the looming government shutdown. Where are you on this?
I think it's just so stupid that we're in this situation. I grew up in Binghamton, just down the road from you guys. You know how it is back home. People don't do stupid stuff like this. If there's a problem, you get together with everybody, you figure out a solution to the problem, and you solve it.
Yeah.
Really simple, right? That's just the way we do things. Down here in Washington, and thank God I get to get home and be with my family tonight, but down here in Washington, everything is partisan. Everybody's pit against each other. And so we're now in this situation where the thing we're voting on later today has had no input from the Democratic side at all. And my biggest priority is to make sure we're not going off a cliff with rural health care. I represent, I think it's the 17th most rural district in the country, the second most rural represented by a Democrat. And we have a healthcare crisis in rural America. And we can't continue down a path where rural hospitals are closing, where nurses won't come and work in rural communities. And so that's a huge priority of mine. And I want to see it get into any budget deal that we're doing. But Washington's so broken that you've got the Democrats sitting in one room, the Republicans sitting in another room. They won't talk to each other. And it's no wonder nothing good gets done. You know what I mean?
Will we see an extension? It looks like that's maybe where we're going.
It's possible. I don't know. I mean, my big thing on this is I'm like, guys, just let's figure out what we can do. But no matter what we're doing, however long it is, however short it is, whatever the deal is here, we have got to provide some support for healthcare in rural communities. We've got to extend, telemedicine so that folks don't have to drive 2 hours to get in for a routine doctor's appointment. I want to see us doing a lot more around school-based healthcare, like Bassett is doing such a great job of in Otsego County. I've got a bill. It's bipartisan. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, it's bipartisan stuff. I've got a bill that would stabilize our rural hospitals. I think that's like 6 Republicans and 6 Democrats on that. So that's the stuff I'm focused on and pushing for.
We'll see where all this goes. We appreciate your time, Josh Riley. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Enjoy the time with your family this weekend.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will. Thank you.
Right. Thanks so much. Congressman Josh Riley, a Democrat who represents the southern tier, and that includes Chenango County and parts in our listening area in Otsego County, down Richfield Springs, and Route 20 and south, I guess. All right, much more to get to. Hold tight, and we'll take some picks on Syracuse this weekend, playing Clemson. We'll get to all that coming up at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Back to work at the White House. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump was in England for a couple of days today, expected to speak with China's President Xi about finalizing a deal for TikTok to be sold to an American company. The president's also urging NATO allies to stop buying Russian oil.
We get the oil down, that war ends.
The president with reporters on Air Force One flying back to D.C. European Union nations have promised to phase out buying Russian oil by 2028 and pledged to buy $750 billion worth of American energy as part of a trade agreement announced in July. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has more on that planned conversation with China's President Xi about TikTok.
President Trump reflecting on the value of TikTok ahead of his discussion with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
Sounds like they've approved TikTok, and TikTok is a tremendous amount of money for the United States, so that was nice. But we'll see how that all works.
Telling Fox's The Story with Martha McCallum, his relationship with China is very good. The leaders' talk comes following U.S. officials revealing they've reached a deal with China to switch TikTok, owned by Beijing-based company ByteDance, to U.S.-controlled ownership to address security concerns. President Trump again extending the deadline to keep the app available in the U.S. until December 16th, giving time for the two governments to work out the details of the agreement. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Congress has a week and a half until September 30th to come up with an agreement to fund the federal government, prevent a partial government shutdown. Republicans and Democrats have put out their own plans to fund the government until House Speaker Mike Johnson says a more cohesive bill is finalized. A vote on the Republicans' plans is expected today.
We genuinely just need to buy a little more time for the appropriator to do their job. I can't understand how anybody could make a rational argument against that unless they're trying to use it for partisan political purposes.
Speaker Johnson on Fox's special report. The Taliban in Afghanistan's released a British couple held for more than 7 months on undisclosed charges. Peter and Barbie Reynolds, 80 and 75 years old, had lived in Afghanistan for 18 years. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Human remains found in the mountains of Washington state are believed to be Travis Decker's, suspected of kidnapping and murdering his 3 young daughters in June.
We're about 0.74 miles away from the initial crime scene, right around an elevation about 4,000 feet. So it was still outside of the initial 3 search areas that we conducted earlier throughout the summer, and this was just an expansion of the search area.
Chelan County, Washington Sheriff Mike Morrison. Last September, Decker's ex-wife Whitney wrote in a petition to modify their parenting plan that he'd become increasingly unstable. He was often living out of his truck, and she sought to restrict him from having overnight visits with the daughters until he found housing. The girls were found bound with zip ties with plastic bags over their heads to suffocate them. The man suspected of murdering conservative activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk reportedly said he wanted to kill himself before his parents persuaded him to turn himself in.
We're learning new details about how Kirk's accused assassin, Tyler Robinson, was taken into custody 1 week ago. Officials say his surrender involved a delicate negotiation because they say Robinson knew he would inevitably get caught and did not want to risk getting shot or having a SWAT team move in on his family's house. Investigators now focused on the timeline and Robinson's movements and communications. For now, they say it appears he acted alone.
Fox's Claudia Cowan. Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, will be serving as Turning Point USA's next CEO. Arizona House Republican Im Hamadeh tells Fox it's a good decision.
We are here to support her from Arizona. You know, Arizona is her home as well, and we're going to be with her all the way.
The organization says it's gotten more than 60,000 inquiries to start new campus chapters since Charlie Kirk's death. With Jimmy Kimmel now suspended from his ABC late night show, Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr says he believes it would be worthwhile to investigate whether ABC's daytime talk show The View is violating broadcast rules by not giving equal time to conservative voices. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. A new Siena College poll shows New York Governor Kathy Hochul pulling away from her potential 2026 opponent, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. According to the polls, Stefanik is trailing Hochul 52 to 27%. In the first poll that places Hochul over 50%, Hochul's job approval rating also ticked up from last month. Chobani is taking some heat after it revealed it's doing business with a company called Planet Harvest, which is owned by President Trump's daughter, Ivanka. The company provides imperfect fruit that normally gets discarded, and it provides it to food manufacturers. Currently, Chobani receives strawberries from the company. Some anti-Trump groups have threatened to boycott Chobani after the business deal was revealed. Chobani will open a $1.2 billion clean food manufacturing plant at Griffiths in Rome next fall. Construction is already underway and is expected to provide some 1,000 jobs when it's up and running. In Albany, the area man is arrested after being accused of trying to grab a girl in Schenectady. Police received a report Wednesday from a parent who said 67-year-old Douglas Meyer tried to take their daughter while she was walking home in the city. And it's alleged that Meyer offered the girl candy before attempting to grab her. She ended up getting away unharmed and told her parents what happened. Meyer pleaded not guilty to a child endangerment charge yesterday and was ordered to stay away from the girl. Another batch of mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus have been discovered in upstate New York, this time in Oswego County. 2 infected samples collected in West Monroe recently, weeks after the county sprayed 10,000 acres of land in an attempt to get rid of the insects. People all over upstate New York are urged to wear insect repellent, have on long sleeves and pants while outside, and removing standing water from around their homes. Symptoms of West Nile virus include fever, headache, rash, nausea, and vomiting. Plenty of eyes on the skies above in northern New York as the annual Adirondack Balloon Festival continues this weekend. It's being held at the Floyd Bennett Memorial Airport in Queensbury all weekend long, and the final big party of the summer is taking place in the state's capital region. The Red, White, and Brew Festival is happening outside MVP Arena, and it'll run from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. The event will feature 5 performances from national recording artist Tyler Farr, and this year's headline, Randy Houser. The family-friendly event is free to attend and helps honor our nation's veterans in the state's capital in Albany. A teenager is facing charges for allegedly making threats against fellow students at a Queens high school. NYPD officials say the incident happened Thursday at one of the high schools there. Authorities say a 16-year-old student made a threat on social media to shoot the school up. The FBI learned of the threat and called the NYPD, who sent officers to the local and federal law enforcement agents are gathering in New York City this week to prepare for next week's United Nations General Assembly. New York City police leaders say security will be high, as it is usually for the event. And Mohawk Valley Gives is now in its last day. Final opportunity today to give to hundreds of local charities, all tax deductible. You can give to one charity or spread it around and give to several. Simply go to givemv.org and search for your favorite charity. Here's an example, as I did last night. Search Real Men Get Tested for Cancer, a charity that grabs our attention here, and give. Simply, it's tax deductible. Go to givemv.org. In sports, the Buffalo Bills remain among the ranks of the NFL's unbeaten. After a double-digit victory at home, Bills quarterback and reigning lead MVP Josh Allen threw for 213 yards and tossed 3 touchdown passes as the Bills beat the Dolphins last night on Amazon Prime. The Giants are prime time for the first time in 3 weeks, or actually in 3 weeks this week. New York is hosting the Kansas City Chiefs for Sunday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. The Jets hitting the road for the first time this season. The green and white will be searching for their first victory as to take on Tampa Bay. The Yankees open up their series against the Orioles with a 7-0 win from Baltimore. In college football this weekend, Syracuse plays at Clemson. Utica University is at Hobart on Saturday. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Cold fronts on the move, and other than a little cloud and fog this morning, the cooler air will start to spill in on the northwest breeze today. As we get into sunshine, high in the low 70s. Tonight, a chilly night, down close to 40, maybe patchy frost out across the north country where it will be in the 30s. Great looking weekend, lots of sunshine around, near 70s Saturday, pushing to the upper 70s by Sunday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, we're looking at cloudy skies, almost 60 degrees. We're 59 currently. Scott in Kirkville will make his picks for the weekend. He's got some good ones for you, maybe things that might work out for you. And, of course, Syracuse taking on Clemson at noon. That game is on ABC tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up next. WIBX. I'll get through it.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, if you've got ugly, cracked yellow toenails, let's be honest. You got toenail fungus. Stop grossing out your family and friends and do what so many have already done. Try Crystal Flush. You're not alone in this. Millions of Americans suffer from toe fungus. It can affect the quality of your life, and it can be dangerous. It's not going away on its own. Most drugstore products, home remedies, prescription drugs, even those expensive laser treatments, they don't get to the root cause of your fungus. Crystal Flush is different. Unlike anything you've seen or tried before, it works by deeply penetrating and disrupting the cellular structure of the fungus, flushing it out at the source. It's genius. So end your embarrassment now. Thousands are literally wiping their fungus clean and showing off their toes again at the beach, the pool, the gym, wherever. You don't need to hide your toes anymore. Imagine wearing sandals, and you'll do it if you try Crystal Flush totally risk-free. Go to crystalflush.com, CRYSTALFLUSH, crystalflush.com.
Hi, I'm Phil DiGiorgio. Planning for the future isn't always easy, but protecting what you've worked so hard for is important. The DiGiorgio Law Firm invites you to a free estate planning and asset protection workshop to be held on Thursday, October 9th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the DiGiorgio Law Firm offices at 250 Genesee Street, Utica, New York. Seats are limited, so call 315-732-3155 to reserve your spot. At this free workshop, you'll learn how to use trusts to preserve your home and assets from the high costs of long-term care, how to safeguard inheritances for loved ones receiving public benefits, and discover techniques to help you access Medicaid benefits for home care or nursing home costs without spending your assets down to zero. Take control of your legacy. You can't take it with you, but you can decide where it goes. Call the DiGiorgio Law Firm today at 315-732-3155 to RSVP for the workshop or to schedule your own consultation. Again, that's 315-732-3155. The DiGiorgio Law Firm. Start protecting your hard-earned assets now.
Guys, have you seen the comments lately?
Yeah, we heard the chatter. And the magic's run out. But I just think those people might need a reminder that Utica is richly steeped in hockey history and home to some of the most passionate fans in the world. And that the players are as gritty as the city they represent. Season starts October 10th. Get your season opener tickets at uticacommets.com. This is Utica.
You know what they say about judging a book by its cover? Everyone with an addiction has a story to tell. Don't know? Don't judge. Addiction is a treatable medical condition. What helps people seek treatment is support. What does not help is shame and stigma. We can all make a difference. Learn how at oasis.ny.gov. The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. Every step of the way.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So last week at this time we had longtime friend, co-worker from a long time ago, Scott Carr was in studio. And he sent along a couple things he said that we should play just to remind people of his contribution to this radio program that goes back, believe it or not, to the 1980s. Scary. That's when I had a lot of hair. But here's a little audio. This is Scott Carr used to do a character on our show called Mr. Stress. So he would call in and he'd be stressed about everything in the world. And here's a little bit of Scott Carr funny from many years. By the way, you'll hear him all across the country doing news. He's done news for NBC Network and for several companies out there. Great talent. This is Scott Carr.
What ho, varlet, stand fast. I am Robin Hood, and I rob from the rich and give to the poor. So surrender your money or die.
Have mercy, good Sir Robin. I am but a lowly wretch, and I have no money.
You have no money?
Not a tuppence, not a halfpenny, not a farthing.
Well, in other words, you are poor.
As a church mouse.
I am Robin Hood, and I rob from the rich and give to the poor. Wow. Here, take this sack of gold.
50,000 gold sovereigns. I'm rich.
You are rich.
I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich.
You're rich.
I am rich. I'm rich.
You are rich. Wait there.
What?
You are rich. Give me back that sack of gold.
No. Oh, but Robin Hood, please.
I am Robin Hood, and I take from the rich and give to the poor.
But now I am poor again.
Did you say you are poor?
Oh, shut up.
I thought that was kind of funny.
An article about this guy who claims to have found Jesus.
Yeah.
You hear that quite often from people who are very religious, but he actually found him.
Right. And tape recorded a message, right?
Tape recorded a message. And so the guy's name is Pat Rollins. He tape recorded a message, and it's a 900 number. He's actually selling this. He's making money off this, and I think he's a sleuth. Well, the first thing we want to do, we want to call the number and give just a chance to hear what the message is.
Okay.
Thank you for calling the Christian Faith Phone Network. There is a $1.95 per minute charge for this call. If you do not wish to incur this charge, please hang up now, and you will not be charged.
Number one.
Here now, blessed listeners, is what may be the voice of Jesus.
Good morning, my child. I have come as a light into the world. I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness. I am the
What is
wrong with I am the Savior.
Wait. I've heard this voice before.
Yes, my son, because I am the Son of God.
This sounds a little like Mr. Stress to me.
And who might this be?
Mr. Stress, this is Bill Keeler.
Keeler?
Oh, no.
What the hell are you doing? You're going to blow my coverage.
Old times. Good stuff with Scott Carr. By the way, that was real. That really happened. There was a guy who believes that he had been contacted by God, Jesus, and left an audio message was left, and he was selling it. You would dial a 900 number, and you'd be able to hear the voice of God. That really was true. Here is the voice of God.
Yeah, it is. He
Scott
is the
and
voice of
Kirkville.
God.
Yeah. Turns out that voice was not God after all. It was Scott in Kirkville, and he was just trying to win a bet. Dear God, please help me win. Help me win this, please.
Well, actually, it happened last night. I needed the field goal for the team total, so thank you for pulling up for a 48-yarder with 22 seconds left. Especially a guy that actually had Bill Keeler's hook shot on the first attempt right before halftime. So
I am not surprised in yesterday's game at all. By the way, I really felt that it was going to be close. It was either going to be a blowout or it was going to be close. And
it was one.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those games where we always talk about patience is a virgin, because when you get down 7-0, you had the perfect storm because that line dropped not that quick, not that long, because Buffalo came right down and scored. So if you waited in game, you might have got it at 9.5, dropped to 10, and so instead of losing, you got to push or win by a half.
Yeah.
So it was one of those games there. But the thing that the whole NFL is not what the teams I've seen. There's so many. There isn't a super strong team, and the Bills look like they were just going to do what the Dolphins gave them. I was shocked how many times they went under. First, I was going to ask you guys, is Josh Allen's arm kind of hurting, because he didn't really rip it last night. And in that third quarter, a couple 3rd and 7s, he checked down. And I was just wondering, and of course, the big play no one's going to talk about, as you're a Bills fan, is the roughing the kicker. I mean, the Dolphins are going to get the ball back with momentum, score tied, and so it was interesting.
Well, listen, I feel like the Bills played. This is my take, and take it for what it is. I feel like the Bills played what they had to do to win that game.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I'm noticing with Josh Allen this year is he's not forcing the. Why throw the ball all over the place when you can just hand the ball to Cook, and he's picking up 8 yards at a time.
Right.
And why? I mean, save that, which I still think exists, that incredible passing game from Josh Allen and his ability to run. Save that for when you need it, and they didn't need it last night.
Well, that last drive, before the Dolphins came all the way back to tie it, they ran it twice, and then that check down. And to me, when you get into the red zone, I usually, remember on that second touchdown where he kind of ran and flipped it ahead and stuff. You want to get him on the edge, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, the NFL this year, they're in a weak division. By the way, you're talking history of IBX.
Yeah.
In the 80s, with Danny Kleescale, when I was kind of working for the Wiffle Tree, we talked IBX and Danny Kleescale. They have a live tailgate party for that second San Francisco-Cincinnati Super Bowl. So we were
listen
outside.
to this story.
Yeah, I think we've heard this story.
Party.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, no, that's radio. I figured some people maybe didn't hear it 5 years ago, but you're talking about the history.
Yeah.
And Danny, it was the only time it didn't snow or be around 40 in January. So worked out good. But,
I was going to say that Danny Klingsdale was in town last weekend here for there was a reunion for radio last week. So
yeah, actually, I was in fact, Bill, you almost were the last voice I might have heard, and that was my incentive to get better, because after I got off the phone with you guys, I had a little episode, ended up in the hospital.
I heard that.
I
heard you were.
That was my incentive, that you weren't going to be the last voice I heard. Nothing personal, but
I'm sorry. You're saying. So what you're saying is, I am not. There's no way I'm going to die and have his voice in my head as the last voice I've heard. Okay, fair enough.
Well, sort of like what Jack Lemmon. They announced, someone announced that he passed away, and he didn't. And Jack Lemmon goes. My incentive was, because within the last face I was seeing would have been Walter Matthau, so that was my incentive, not to pass away. But it's interesting when you're in the hospital. You got a lot of free time and stuff. So I was looking for interpretations, and I was talking to producer Dave there, but. There's a saying called "happy as a clam," and I don't know how a clam is happy. You're in the shell, and suppose you're claustrophobic. I mean, how happy can you be being a clam?
Yeah, that is a good. I wonder where that phrase came from.
That?
Everything has an origin, though. There's a reason.
Yeah.
So I should look that up and find out. Yeah, happy as a clam.
Or mine is P's and Q's. How come those two letters? I mean,
P's and Q's. And mind your P's and Q's. Or like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah. And if you can call up Greenlee, your music aficionado.
Greeley.
America with a horse with no name song. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, they're out in the desert with no name.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get out of the rain because they don't want to feel any pain. I think a couple big fat doobies helped out with those lyrics, I think, when they wrote that.
It may have been even something more serious than that. So.
Just thing like that. And then the Kingsmen, Louie Louie, trying to figure out those lyrics. That was kind of interesting, too.
Well, the little history on that is the song was banned in the 1960s because there were, back then, we're kind of moving back into that time, I think, believe it or not, with this new FCC chair. I'm just saying, But back then, they didn't know what the lyrics were, so they thought it must have been. We still don't today. They thought it must have been bad, so many radio stations wouldn't play the song back then. Pretty crazy.
Right, I was gonna say because when you hear it, the guy, whoever does the lead singer sounds drunk anyway. So because the way that you kind of just mumble the words, and I'm sure they know it. But it's a good song. It's a great dance song, by the way.
Yes, I can just see you dancing to it. That would be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually a great tambourine song, too. And stuff,
that'll put you in the hospital. All right.
It would. Okay.
I want to ask you about this weekend, tomorrow at noon, live on ABC. Syracuse travels to Clemson. And if there's ever a time where Syracuse could make some noise, I think it's tomorrow.
Well, it's interesting, and of course it's under a different coach, Coach Favors, but when Syracuse has been competitive and actually should have won a couple of games, they've been noonday games down at Clemson. When they play later and in the day, 3:30, 7:30, they haven't been that competitive down in Clemson. I've always thought that a team that's a big underdog, instead of hanging around the hotel all day, let's get this game on, and you think the opposition might be kind of sleepwalking too. So they're a 17-point underdog. Believe it or not, I don't know if you're following the stats. Of course, it's only been a couple games, but we have the leading passer in the country right now. By the way, I don't know if you.
I did see that. Yeah, Angelini.
It shows you that Jeff Nixon, McCord, and Nixon. We kind of wonder if it was a combination or McCord was good, but Jeff Nixon sounds like a system type of. Makes your quarterback be better. You don't need a great quarterback like a Mike Leach. If you remember Mike Leach, the late Mike Leach, wherever he went, his quarterbacks threw for 4,000 yards. He's Tech, Washington State, Mississippi State, and I got a feeling that Nixon is the same way. And that's the only way I think you're going to be Clemson. I don't think you can line up and run this ball against their front seven. We got to eliminate that. And maybe get a lead and force Clemson to throw the ball.
Do you the line right now that I'm looking at is 16 and a half. Clemson is giving up 16 and a half points. What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
well, Clemson hasn't scored. I mean, they had troubles with Troy. They're down 16-3 at halftime. They only scored 21 against not a great defense, Georgia Tech, and of course. The LSU game was hyped, and that was a night game. It was 17-10. They're supposed to be all the Heisman Trophy hopeful candidates aren't playing that good. He was supposed to be was a Kupnik. It's supposed to be a Heisman Trophy. Of course, Arch Manning he's not doing exactly well. And we'll just hope. I don't know if Syracuse's defense can. We'll find out if Clemson's can throw the ball because I think Syracuse can put 8 men in the box. Being an SU fan, like I said, 3 years ago, they should have won the game until the referees got involved. And then remember the Dungy game where they were leading all the way until the last 40 seconds. And that's when Clemson was number 1, number 2 in the country. So
I'll ask you, is this a game Syracuse can win?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then I would say, giving up, Clemson giving up 16 and a half points, that may be your bet right there. Would you agree with that?
Bet. If you can bet it and stay in New York. But it's interesting. Here's one for you tonight. And by the way, I heard that Michigan State, Kathy, I was going to say you better get her vitamin B shot because her Michigan State's playing USC at 11 o'clock at night. When you usually play USC, those games are 4-hour games, so it's going to be up to 3. Tonight, it's interesting. You don't know if you noticed, Iowa and Rutgers is playing tonight. And Iowa, in the last 2 years, doesn't score that many points. And I thought the over-under was combined both teams is 46. And Iowa doesn't score. In fact, earlier in the year, they were in a foul with Iowa State, and the over-under combined was 41. They scored 13. Rutgers is one of those teams we talked about that the market hasn't adjusted from last year because they didn't score any points last year, and now they replaced everybody because the transfer portal plus their offensive coordinator. All Rutgers have got to do for their team total, just their team total at home, to score 21. They scored 34 at home and 45 at home. So it's just just to watch the game. I don't think it's the best bets, but I was just shocked to see an over/under combined a 46 with Iowa involved. That seems an awful high. And Rutgers is the dog at home.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you too about Notre Dame. How does Notre Dame? How do they continue to be ranked in the top 10?
Yeah.
And
well, that's the prep. Yeah.
Go ahead. And by the way, they're playing tomorrow.
Yeah,
who do they play?
Purdue.
Against Purdue, and they're 25-point favorites in that game.
25-point favorite, beat them 67-0 on the road last year. Notre Dame has got special rules. They get
I
into
agree.
the playoffs because they're not in the conference. They got to keep them relevant because once they drop out of the top 25, remember the pandemic year?
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to be in the ACC because the only way you could have qualified for the playoffs is be in a conference. Oh, lo and behold, we want to be in the ACC. They don't even win the championship, get their rear ends kicked, and they're still in the playoffs.
I know.
Now, they got 2 losses, and, they technically should be out of the playoffs, and you're right. Why are they even ranked?
Why are they even ranked? It is
exactly.
You're right. Notre Dame has there are Notre Dame rules. Davey.
Scott, speaking of the ACC, there was some news last night that came across. It's closing in on a change to its scheduling format that require all league teams to play at least 10 games against Power 4 competition through the number of interconference games played. 8 or 9 remains a sticking point, according to this source.
Yeah, that's interesting because the Southeast Conference went to I think next year is a 9-game format because they got 17 teams like that involved. But it's interesting because these smaller teams, that's how they make their $1.5 million. I wonder how much Colgate got to play Syracuse, but when you see Long Island University playing Florida, think about it. You're going to get your rear ends kicked for about $1.5 million, and that's probably going to be your budget for the stuff. But
by the way, would you take?
You're right, Bill. Notre Dame is always.
Yeah. Would you take? Would you take Purdue in that game? I
would take Purdue. There's a new coach. Odom came over from UNLV. They had 3 turnovers last. They can score, but the over-under is a low over-under. It's only 51. And one thing Notre Dame can do is score. They scored 40 against A&M, and they scored, I think, close to 30 against Miami. I think the team total with Notre Dame. But, if I took the game, I think Purdue can cover.
Okay. All right.
The games in college, Texas is a 40-point favorite, but the over-under is only 50. So, once again, we talked about this. Why would you take Texas minus 40 when they just have to – when the overrun for both teams combined is 50? Yeah. I think it's 47 for Texas against Sam Houston. They can't score 47 against Sam Houston. Throw them out of the book, too. Oregon is on a juggernaut, and they're playing Oregon State, and their over-under is about 42. And they just been blowing teams away. Notre Dame is another one that I think. But you're right. If you're going to take the game, I would take Purdue. Keep it close, 25.5, because Notre Dame's defense has done nothing. In the pros, I've been I try to find teams with a market thing, and for some reason Baltimore is not getting respect yet for their team totals. I thought that was the best thing the first week when they played Buffalo. It was over 25.5. You can get them right now at about 28 against a Detroit team at Baltimore. To me, once they lost a 15-point lead to the Buffalo, they're in the era where I don't think they're going to stop scoring because they don't want to explain to their fans how you do another 15-point lead.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. I want to bring in Kathy and Rome.
All right. Is this Michigan State, Kathy?
It is. Kathy, you're on. You're on with Scott in Kirkville. Hello.
Well, hello, Bill.
Oh. Kathy, you sound so different today.
He's famous. You know that, don't you, right?
He's all over the place. He's on FAN in New York.
He's on promo.
And ESPN. All over.
He's every day at noon. You can hear him in a different radio station out of there. And Stefan, I hope you got a lawyer because that should be NIL money. You should be getting.
You should be making money. All right, Stefan, what do you have before we let Scott go?
Well, last week I was at Citi Field for the Mets Texas Rangers game, and that was the 8th loss that I saw in a row that the Mets had lost. And I was talking to fellow Mets fans on the way out of the game, out of the stadium, and a lot of them were saying they're very concerned about this ball club.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, they looked good yesterday.
Well, Stephen, I tell you, you keep showing up, the Diamondbacks are going to give you a hack. The Diamondbacks are now involved in the chase for that.
Yeah,
third,
how about that?
wild
Talk
card.
about a
out of nowhere. I mean, I'm sitting there going, and the joke is, I tell you something, and Stephen, I was still on the line or not. It's all different. How the heck does Boston at home lose 2 out of 3 to the Oakland A's? I didn't even know they called the Oakland A's. They're playing in Sacramento at home when they have to win. I mean, it's unconscionable.
Yeah.
Toronto goes down to Tampa Bay. They're playing in Tropicana somewhere. The old.
Right.
You can't play in their dome.
George
and they
Steinbrenner
lose
Field.
two games to Tampa. So you got 2 teams that should be winning. And all of a sudden they can't. I mean, Boston's incredible. How do you lose 2 out of 3 at home to it? I mean, in fact, they lost 1 game 2-1. I mean, it's just amazing that it's 9 games to go and they can't beat the A's at home.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I have to move on. I hate to do this and break up this wonderful party.
Hey, I like it.
Got to do it. You got to do it. I like it too.
Let me ask you a question. Are you going to have African Swallow on? He's wearing a Jimmy Kimmel hat, so maybe he can bring his Chinese spy girlfriend on too.
I think you were just struck by lightning, and that's just so bad. All right, gentlemen, you have a wonderful day. Great weekend, Scott and Stephen. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Bye, Bill.
Goodbye, Stephen. Go Mets. Go Bills. Well, the Bills won last night. Quick break. News update right now at WIBX.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. We're the members of IBW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Are your windows old and tired? Hard to put up and down? Builder's grade windows just aren't made to last very long. Patriot Home Solutions is a different kind of window company. No games or gimmicks, no long drawn-out sales presentations, just high-quality, custom-fit windows at reasonable prices made right here in New York. And right now, you can get up to $2,000 off new windows from Patriot and NYSERDA, plus 0% interest for 18 months. Most homeowners qualify for the savings, and income is not one of the requirements. So write this number down, 315-401-0440. That's 401-0440. Patriot Home Solutions will tell you right over the phone if you qualify. Don't miss your chance to save up to $2,000 on new windows. Funds are limited, so call before they run out. Learn more at callpatriothomesolutions.com. That's callpatriothomesolutions.com.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. A new Siena College poll shows New York Governor Kathy Hochul pulling away from her potential 2026 opponent, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. According to the polls, Stefanik is trailing Hochul 52 to 27%. In the first poll that places Hochul over 50%, Hochul's job approval rating also ticked up from last month. Chobani is taking some heat after it revealed it's doing business with a company called Planet Harvest, which is owned by President Trump's daughter, Ivanka. The company provides imperfect fruit that normally gets discarded, and it provides it to food manufacturers. Currently, Chobani receives strawberries from the company. Some anti-Trump groups have threatened to boycott Chobani after the business deal was revealed. Chobani will open a $1.2 billion clean food manufacturing plant at Griffiths in Rome next fall. Construction is already underway and is expected to provide some 1,000 jobs when it's up and running. In Albany, the area man is arrested after being accused of trying to grab a girl in Schenectady. Police received a report Wednesday from a parent who said 67-year-old Douglas Meyer tried to take their daughter while she was walking home in the city. And it's alleged that Meyer offered the girl candy before attempting to grab her. She ended up getting away unharmed and told her parents what happened. Meyer pleaded not guilty to a child endangerment charge yesterday and was ordered to stay away from the girl. Another batch of mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus have been discovered in upstate New York, this time in Oswego County. 2 infected samples collected in West Monroe recently, weeks after the county sprayed 10,000 acres of land in an attempt to get rid of the insects. People all over upstate New York are urged to wear insect repellent, have on long sleeves and pants while outside, and removing standing water from around their homes. Symptoms of West Nile virus include fever, headache, rash, nausea, and vomiting. And Mohawk Valley Gives is now in its last day. Final opportunity today to give to hundreds of local charities. Simply go to givemv.org. That's the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Cold fronts on the move, and other than a little cloud and fog this morning, the cooler air will start to spill in on the northwest breeze today. As we get into sunshine, high in the low 70s. Tonight, a chilly night down close to 40, maybe patchy frost out across the north country where it will be in the 30s. Great looking weekend, lots of sunshine around, near 70 Saturday, pushing to the upper 70s by Sunday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, currently we are at 60 degrees and cloudy. You all right over there, Davey?
Yeah, it's just a nice response we got from one of the people that we deal with.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
I deal with.
Are you saying someone was positive this morning?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yes.
You got to be kidding me.
Yes.
I would like to send a challenge out to Deeds and Big Honey, who says up there in Hecla, first Alex Jones and now Jimmy Kimmel. You're right, Bill. The sky is falling. Listen, Big Honey, if you really listen carefully, you would have heard when I said last week that I don't think Alex Jones, I don't think the case against Alex Jones is going to hold up, because the things that he said, albeit horrific, the terrible things that he said about was it Newtown and terrible, saying it never happened. It was all that stuff is horrible, but he has still the right to say bad things, and they went after him. I feel like they violated his First Amendment. Personally, I think he's a scumbag, but I think they violated his First Amendment. That's what I said. So I as for the Jimmy Kimmel thing, I think it's bigger than that, and I just think it's a very dangerous, slippery slope we're going down here. And I'm not a big Jimmy Kimmel fan, to be honest with you. Big Honey, the only thing I do want to know is, the other day you said Josh Allen is the end of his career is near. He's falling from grace. I just don't see it. But I do want to challenge people like Big Honey to go to givemv.org and give to real men. It's the one thing that, right, we can all agree on is getting that message out that guys should be tested and make sure they get tested for cancer is extremely important. Go to givemv.org and search for Real Men Get Tested today. And please give to our cause. And I'm going to get into that coming up in just a second. But people like Easy and Ilian and Deeds and Lance and Lee and Mike in Frankfurt, all of these people, Aaron in Rome, and is it Rome? Yeah. John in Utica, all these people that rip on us and enjoy every bit of their comments. Larry, come on, Larry. We're still looking into that case at Valley View. Tony Baloney on YouTube Live. Deeds and Jawick, all of you out there who are... Oh, Steve Colenso. Steve Colenso. Come on, man. Go to givemv.org. Search for Real Men Get Tested. Just put in REAL and we'll pop right up. And give, no matter if it's $10, if it's $1,000, whatever it is that you can give, you could afford to give, every penny goes to getting the message out. And I want to thank some people here right now. Ann in Rome, thank you for giving. David Smith. I don't think it's you, Davey. There's a David Smith who, it is you. It isn't you. It is. It's not. No, it's not. Okay.
There's other David Smiths out there.
I've never heard of one. It's not a very common name at all.
Yes, there is.
It is? I don't think it is. I've never heard of... Are you saying Smith is a common name?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's other David Smiths out there in the world.
You learn something every day. Dr. Rick Timms, thank you.
Do you think I like to be called David? No.
John Romano, thank you so giving $2,500 today. Thank you so much, John. An anonymous donation of $50. Francis, I'm going to butcher the name, Kauth. Kauth. I'm sorry that I did not pronounce it properly. $25. Doug Callan giving $50. Thank you, Doug. We appreciate that. Nancy Ford. Tim Reed giving $1,000. And we want to add to it. Just go to givemv.org. And you may give to other charities, too. But try to consider ours. I swear to you, every single penny goes right back into getting the message out that guys have to be smarter. And guys need to get out there and get tested. Jake, stand by. I'm going to take you right after this break at WIBX.
Together, we can do more. On September 19th, our community will hold Mohawk Valley Gives, an online day of giving to benefit area nonprofits. Your Mohawk Valley Gives donation will help hundreds of nonprofit organizations meet our community's greatest needs, and every dollar counts. Join us on September 19th at givemv.org, and let's show everybody that Mohawk Valley Gives, powered by the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties and Up Mobility Foundation. MV Gives is proudly sponsored by Staffworks and M&T Bank.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, hello, Bill. Did you see Pete Alonso had another dinger? I did see that, Stefan. He's a good man, that Stefan Rubitsky. He's doing very well, I'm just telling you. Paul this morning, Real Men Get Tested. Give to Real Men Get Tested by going to givemv.org, givemv.org. And it would be awesome if we could get to like $5,000 before 9 o'clock. That would mean 10 people give $100. 20 people give $50. I mean, there's a chance, right? There is. Go to givemv.org right now. By the way, Paul Buckley, they can watch Real Men Get Tested on City Limits this Sunday noon, Channel 7, and 7 p.m., Channel 12. Jake is in Utica, and then Joe, I think, is calling. Jake, good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Back in 2024, before the NFL season started, this one guy predicted the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Okay,
Yeah.
they did. Now he predicted the next 4 years. He's
Okay.
got the Eagles to go back to win it again.
This year.
Buffalo to win their first Super Bowl.
Oh.
Cincinnati to win their first Super Bowl. And Kansas City to win another Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, I like that. And so far he's been accurate, right?
So far, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this is the Bills' year. If we can keep away from injuries,
Hey, Josh Allen, he's so good.
He
You know,
is. Yeah. I am telling you. I don't know what Big Honey's talking about up there in Hecla. There's not a lot to do in Hecla. That's the problem. They just sit around staring at the trees. It's like,
My daughters are
what
at
do
the
we do
game
now?
last night in Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
Okay, one more thing.
Yes.
He's not just a very good quarterback. He seems like a nice guy.
He is an awesome person. Yeah.
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 Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
And you know who? Jim Kelly is a great guy. What I find interesting about Buffalo Bills players, and maybe it's like this in every NFL city, but when the Bills players get done, they stay in Buffalo. They love the fans there. They love the Fitzpatrick. Look at him, right? Did he end up taking his shirt off last night? Of course he did. Yeah.
Josh Allen's great. He loves Buffalo.
Yeah, he does.
He loves playing for the Bills.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, Jake, listen, you have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks a lot, Bill. You too.
Thanks so much.
Bye now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Lode, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
The man with the plan.
The man with the plan. Here's the man with the plan.
Listen, I just wanted to say, great job. I want to throw this out there. Mark Bolos, I went to that Charlie Kirk memorial the other night in New York Mills, and Mark Bolos performed, and what a great job he did.
Mark is amazing.
Great turnout. The people. It was a really, really nice event. It was at Christ the King Church. They did a great job, and kudos to the New York Mills Police Department for the traffic because there was a lot of traffic there, and they held it down great.
I got to tell you, and I don't know Mark's politics, but I know Mark, and he's helped out so many young musicians over the years, and is just a great guy. But I do, if I know Mark, it's for him. The politics don't matter. It's the fact that we can't have violence. Nobody deserves to go through what happened there, and I just think he's a great guy.
All in all,
great talent.
I've never known anybody to give more generously than Mark does to anybody in need. Whether it's instruments, whether it's discounts or helping out with a fundraiser, he's always there. Which he's a great guy. I just wanted to say that.
Right.
Also wanted to let you know today, if you're around Lee Center, New York, Lee Center,
okay,
this beautiful little place.
Stop for 1 second.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, I cannot believe, Joe, you came on without plugging. Although kind of you're plugging Big Apple Music, kind of. But okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so beautiful Lee Center here today on Turn Road. We're going to have a food truck at Lynx Auto. So JoJo's Empanadas are going to be here, and I'll try not to eat them all. I'll save some for the rest of the community.
I am craving Mexican today. Maybe that's the answer.
Hey, stop out and see us today,
Yeah.
Bill.
Right.
Hey, listen, you come out, I'll buy the empanadas. How's that?
Okay, all right. Maybe I will. I'm not going to, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. That might be something I'll do today. So, okay, Joe. Plug away.
You have a great weekend.
Right,
you have a great weekend, and I will tell you, get ready for next weekend. The Barn Fest in Remsen is next weekend, and I'll be DJing for the first time in front of Stinger's Bar. So stop on by and have a drink.
I was just wondering when the Remsen Festival happens. So it's next weekend.
Next Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a biggie.
And, Bill, I went for the first time last year. I couldn't believe that I haven't gone before it.
Oh, it's huge.
Amazing.
Yeah. Huge.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
The amount of people that go to that, it's a great time.
Yeah. All right, good stuff there, Joe. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too now.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Did I mention you could go to givemv.org? You want to do an update and see if any increases have occurred?
And I'll give a plug for the Remsen Barn Fest.
We were at
for
$4,000. Hold on. We were at $4,000. I'm going to go to it right now while you plug away.
I'll give a plug to the Remsen Barn Fest. They have a vendor there. Even though my parents are still quite not involved in it, the Floyd Fire Department Ladies Auxiliary, they have a great fried dough, and they start their fish fries tonight up the road from our house. So I don't have too far to travel. I could either walk or drive.
All right, that's going to be wonderful. I'm, by the way, I'm stalling. I have 3 minutes before. Oh, no, you want me out at 58:50? All right, then I got to do some live commercials. I want to thank a couple people. Judy, it's great to hear from you, Judy. $50 donation. Thank you. Calvin Brown, thank you so much for giving to Real Men Get Tested. Calvin gave $50 here. I mentioned Dr. Rick Timms. Thank you. John Romano. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Stefan Rubitsky, who just gave $10 to Real Men Get Tested. And I'm telling you, every dollar counts. $5, $10, $1,000, whatever it is you can give. We really, really appreciate it. And I will tell you, every single penny goes right back into the campaign. We don't pay to do obviously we have to pay to have the commercials on TV and on radio, but we don't pay for the production of the commercials. All of that stuff is done in kind, and there's no salaries, there are no administrative fees. Every penny goes back to just remind women and guys, but guys in particular who tend to procrastinate, to get out there and get tested. Early detection could save your life. Can I go to the top? Would you let me go to the top? Can you move that thing around a little bit? I know I had you moving them all around, but I got to do some stuff. River Hills Properties is continuing to grow and invest in the Mohawk Valley in upstate New York. They love. I mean, their entire name was named after River Hills. It's the rivers of the Mohawk Valleys and the Adirondacks and the hills of the valley, and looking from the valley and the Adirondacks. It's River Hills Properties. Offices in Barneveld, Little Falls, Utica, to the north in Copenhagen, in Newport, coming soon to Rome, and they've even opened an office of a full team ready to take care of somebody that might not want to spend winters up here anymore. Maybe you become a snowbird and you're thinking about the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, just beautiful down there. River Hills has you covered, and it's with full services that you don't get elsewhere. They are with you from beginning till end. Call 896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. And a good feet store. You're feeling the pain and you want it to go away. I certainly understand. I've done this, had the test, where the inserts, it's a 3-step system. It's easy. And it does ease the pain. and it can rid you of the pain. Check it out. The Good Feet Store, Commercial Drive in New Hartford, or call 315-999-3910. Have a safe weekend. Back Monday.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Saving TikTok. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump's been speaking with China's President Xi this morning about finalizing a deal for the social media company's Chinese-owned parent company to sell to American investors rather than have it banned.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said earlier this week that a framework deal to keep the social media app operational in the U.S. had been reached. Bessent says the agreement satisfies both U.S. and Chinese interests. Critics maintain any deal must ensure the app is separated from its Beijing-based parent company ByteDance to protect the country's national security.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. The manhunt for a child killer, his own children, appears to be over in Washington state.
Authorities in Washington state believe they've found the remains of Travis Decker. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says human remains were discovered Thursday night in a remote wooded area near Leavenworth. Speaking of Fox 13 Seattle, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says police are still waiting to confirm the identity of the remains, but
we do feel pretty confident that there's a high probability this is him, just based off the clothing, some other personal items that we found on scene.
Decker's daughters, age 5, 8, and 9, were found suffocated in June. Decker had been on the run for 3 months. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Votes expected today in the House on a Republican plan to fund the federal government until the end of October to buy more time and prevent a partial government shutdown October 1st.
Democrats have criticized the legislation because it lacks an extension of Affordable Care Act health insurance premium subsidies that are set to expire at the end of the year. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he expects the bill to pass out of the House, and if it makes it to the Senate, Democrats will, quote, come to their senses and join us in passing it.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. President Trump's suggestion that the U.S. retake control of Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan is rejected by the Taliban Foreign Ministry. The base was turned over to the Afghan military shortly before the Taliban took back control.